Welcome once again onto our UBC News Tonight at 10. My name is Patricia Lokoma Mpango. As we head straight into the bulletin, President Museveni has today launched Uganda's first tin refining plant in Ruti, Mbarara City. The facility is owned by Woodcross Resources, a company which is composed of a mining division focused on the exploration, development and operation of mining licenses in Uganda, a commercial-scale tin refinery located in Mbarara, and a mineral trading division purchasing concentrate from audited mining sites across the Great Lakes region of East Africa. The tin type of mineral ore that contains tin is a soft, malleable, silvery white metal. Tin is commonly used in various applications, including a coating for other metals to prevent corrosion, in the production of solders, as the component in electronics as well, and in the manufacturing of tin cans. During the launch, President Museveni, who was in the company of the first daughter, Mrs. Natasha Museveni Karujire, re-emphasized his call for value addition to Uganda's raw materials like minerals. He said when minerals are exported and processed, Uganda loses a lot of revenues and other benefits that could steer the country's socio-economic transformation.
So when it came to minerals, that's when we told them that if you do not want to add value here, we shall not allow you. We shall not allow you to export. And I banned all the exports of unprocessed minerals. Let the minerals stay in the ground. They have been there for millions of years. If the present leaders are stupid, they can't see how to do it. Let them stay there. When more intelligent people come, they will. I will not be part of the crime of stealing people's. Uganda now gets 3 times more money on the issue of tin than it was getting. But secondly, because of this processing, which is here, jobs are created here now.
The communities where these investors are operating from what I have picked, Woodcross is in good books with the surroundings. Thank you so much. Thank you, the local leaders. Please continue encouraging the communities to support this kind of development.
In August 2 years ago. If you look at the supply of tin globally, it's been concentrated in the hands of 5 or 6 countries for the last decades. Those countries include China, Indonesia, Malaysia, Peru, and Brazil. What's happened over the last few decades is all of these countries are struggling to bring product to markets. That's because of a few reasons. One, reserves globally are declining because most of those countries have exhausted the amount of product that they have in country. 2, China is a global leader in mineral beneficiation.
This company is also a wake-up call to many young people across the country. And I hope this goes as a resounding echo, encouraging them to equip themselves with the necessary skills so that they are able to be utilized by such establishments. And as we look forward to bettering the mineral sector, we would have young people directly involved in the mineral value chain.
Now, the Parliamentary Committee on Health wants the non-tax revenue ceiling for government hospitals to be adjusted in order to improve service delivery. In the ministerial policy statement and budget estimates for financial year 2024-2025, the committee notes that most government hospitals have proved to be collecting more money in the private wing, yet the respective hospitals remained in a bad state. Well, we do apologize. We will be bringing the details of that story in just a few minutes. Now, Matthew Kanyamunyu has Friday, April 12th, 2024, been released from Luzira Upper Prison after the completion of his sentence of 3 years and 5 months in prison for the 2016 shooting of social work and child rights activist Kenneth Akena. Let's hear more in this report.
On 12th November 2020, Judge Stephen Mumiro of High Court Criminal Division sentenced Matthew Kanyamunyu to 5 years and 1 month in prison after he was found guilty of shooting at Kenneth Akena, who had come to him to apologize, having accidentally knocked his car in a parking lot in Lugogo, Kampala district. Kenneth Akena died a few hours later after the incident at Novik Hospital, where he had reportedly been taken by Kanyamunyu and his girlfriend for treatment, although Matthew Kanyamunyu was facing the offense with his Burundian girlfriend Cynthia Munywangali and brother Joseph Kanyamunyu. The DPP's office withdrew the charges against them. During that trial, Matthew Kanyamunyu was in Luzira Makshoni Bay Prison since 12th November 2020, serving his sentence, as Friday been freed.
So when you get the total sentence, which leads us to the latest period of discharge, it lands us on 11th of December 2025. But because prisons has what we call prisons mathematics or mission, which is some days awarded to a hardworking and disciplined prisoner, and this is an entitlement for prisoners who are sentenced beyond 1 month. So Kanyamunyu benefited from remission, and his earliest period of discharge, having under remission, landed him on 12th April 2024.
Baine also highlights the reasons for the release of Matthew Kanyamunyu, despite his sentence still ongoing.
Every part, the first month is served in full. The balance of the sentence is subjected to a third award to the prisoner. In other words, if a prisoner is sentenced to 3 years and 1 month, the prisoner serves the first month full, and then the remaining 3 years, it means this prisoner will benefit. 1 year will be on his side. In the actual sense, he will serve 2 years and 1 month. There are some cases, of course, which don't attract remission, like a person sentenced to death, or a person sentenced to stay in prison for the entire life, a person sentenced by court on what we call preventive detention, and then any person who is a habitual criminal and or a debtor.
The then embattled Matthew Kanyamunyu, prior to his sentence, went for a traditional ritual known as a matupot, an actually term to mean to drink a bitter potion made from the leaves of opot. During the ceremony, said to have been held at Kwaro Acholi, Kanyamunyu reportedly admitted to killing Kenneth Akena, and he was asked to pay 10 cows and 3 goats by elders in Acholi. Matthew Kanyamunyu's release follows under the same category of the former Border 2010 leader, Haji Abdullah Chitata, who was released on remission. Deborah Namamonde, UBC News.
Now, the State Minister for National Guidance, Godfrey Kabyanga, has urged leaders in Kasese to support the Rwenzori Theluji's festival as it intends to promote the region as a tourist destination. With launching the festivities of Rwenzori Theluji of 2024, Minister Kabyanga reiterated on the significance of such events in promoting the development of the region based on the numbers to be hosted.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
The Rwenzori Theluji Festival is a tourism product designed to unify and promote Rwenzori unique features, specifically mountains, national parks, game reserves, among others.
Kasese is the tourism destination of the whole country. Let us come up as Kasese people and market this niche which you have over the rest. Water now is sorted, electricity is sorted. What remains, you are the ones not yet sorted.
Organizing such events in the region is attracting development in fields of accommodation, hotel management, and other community-related infrastructure development.
Transport. We are working on the roads. We have now from here, whether through Mbarara, whether through Fort Potro, the road is tarmac. Even the one which has problems, the Mubende Mitiana road, is being worked on. We are working on those roads so that you can reach your tourism destination very fast. And that one is being done. Now government is looking for money to work on the what now you call the tourism roads. Ngenda, Nyakalengijo. Network in the national parks. We are working on that. We already have money. Just as I told you, water we now have money. Now for network we also have money now. World Bank loan. We are going to ensure there is internet in all national parks. And first class internet, very fast internet. We are also going to ensure that all national parks have telephone network. We are now building towers, and then the phone companies install their antennas.
The festival is organized by Kasese Tourism Investors Forum and is set to exhibit human tourism activities to attract local and foreign tourism. Local leaders are called upon to support this initiative to enable the region realize its tourism potential.
And the festival, as I have told you, the components, organizing a cultural gala does not need little money. Organizing a pre-marathon run does not need little money. Organizing a tree planting and looking after them does not need little money. So all these activities require money. We are having a summit, a trade, tourism and investment summit. That one hosts about 200 people. And these people need to be fed. Guests, some of them, we have to ensure that the speakers are accommodated, and all these need money.
The festival is expected to enhance visibility of the region as a tourism destination and will begin in late August to early September. The organizing committee needs at least 300 million Uganda shillings to realize the proper preparation.
This year, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have a cultural gala infused within the festival. This will be the first time we are showcasing our culture. We provide pre and post marathon activities. Our activities for a smart, green and clean Kasese are meant to have our visitors who come for the marathon enjoy and stay longer in Kasese. So we try as much as possible to ensure that people don't just go to run blindly. They should find an environment that is conducive, that should attract them to stay in Kasese, utilize the facilities in Kasese, and enjoy the weather that is friendly.
Crispus Ainitwe, Abdunasilu Bwama, UBC News.
State Minister for Kampala and Metropolitan Kawiye Chofa has tasked locals of Makindye Sabagaba Division to give right-of-way for construction of a drainage channel system that is to solve the long-term issue of flooding in the area, as we hear more in this report.
Zana, Lufuka, Bunamwaya, Ndeje, Chikajo are the villages in Makindye Sabagabo Division that have since suffered with the issue of flooding in Kampala during heavy downpours. State Minister for Kampala and Metropolitan Affairs Kawiye Chofa inspected these villages and disclosed on the construction of the drainage channel that will solve the issue of flooding in the area.
We are designing a program to redo this channel. Unfortunately, the channel measures almost 14 to 15 kilometers. Unfortunately, in our designs or in the programs, we had come up with only 9 kilometers. So the mayor picked concern and he was actually perplexed.
The minister, however, blamed people who construct on top of the drainage channels.
Was redirecting of the channel where now water comes and is diverted at 90 degrees. That one is impossible and it can't happen. Those who went and built along the channels must also be addressed.
He also urged the people of these villages to supervise the works so that the contractor does quality work.
Kind of a project for the entire Greater Kampala metropolitan area, and it's called the Greater Kampala Metropolitan Urban Development Program, Phase 1, which is estimated to cost about $610 million, close to 3 trillion Uganda shillings. So, but this year, each year, we've budgeted for about $122 million.
The local leaders pledged support towards drainage construction.
Amazzi gatta abantu wano abanziza amayumba gonna gamenyese naye bazimbe enkya n'eggulu abamu babagamba ne bagaana naye ku luno buli omu agenza akitegeera nti ayazimba ku mwala alina okuvaawo.
Twamala dde okukola design zaffe tubadde tuleese minisitule okulaba ensonga eno okulaba nga ssente bazituwa tutandika okukola emyala gino abantu baffe babeere bulungi. Basuubuzi bange mu kitundu kino bizinensi zibadde zaafa, bizinensi nnyingi zaagootaana olw'amazzi, enkuba buli lwetonya obuwunga nga bugendamu amazzi nga bufuuka buugi, omuceere nga gufa. Naye tuli basanyufu nti olwaleero tufunye essuubi bwe tulabye ku minisita ne ttiimu y'abayinginiya ne mmeeya nga bazze okutukakasa nti omwala guno singa tunaawaayo sipeesi we gunaayita gugenda kukolebwa.
The first phase of the drainage project is expected to benefit Kampala and metropolitan areas. Mike Bakablindi for UBC.
Dr. Diana Atwine, Permanent Secretary of Ministry of Health, has revealed that the Ministry of Education plays a key role in the campaign of rolling out HIV self-testing between children and adolescents in the country. Atwine made the remarks during the national launch at Munonye HIV testing campaign for children and adolescents in the country that will be implemented within 6 months in a phased manner. The campaign targets 10,000 children and adolescents living with HIV/AIDS in the country by engaging in interventions put in place for viral suppression.
I want to go and test these kids. I want to test them because now we have made it easy. Now we can test and then take the student. All those who are positive, make sure they are treated, and these children will grow and they will become doctors, they will become politicians, they will grow old like me and be able to take our nation forward instead of us hiding these children. It's a shame on us.
The Ministry of Health has launched the national Munonye Find the Child HIV testing campaign for children and adolescents in the country that will be implemented within 6 months starting from April to September 2024. The campaign aims at early identification of infections, timely linkage on treatment and ensuring optimal treatment. Dr. Diana Atwine, the Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Health, stressed the need for multi-sectoral approach in tackling HIV/AIDS in children and adolescents if the country is to meet the target of ending HIV/AIDS by 2030.
Munonye cannot work until we are able to find every mother who is pregnant and we test, and make sure that every child who is born, we know, we are 100% sure that we are not releasing, we are not missing out of all those children. How do we bring in teachers? How do we bring in school nurses? Play a very big role, because if these children are in boarding school and they are sick, or they take their ARVs and they don't adhere, I know that there is this issue of stigma that, you know, parents don't want to, but I can assure you, if you bring on board nurses that are well trained and oriented, they can be a big force for us.
Dr. Robert Mutumba, Programs Manager at AIDS Control Program, Ministry of Health, noted that starting this year in October, children will transition to single tablets daily to improve on adherence to treatment.
And our children actually will be able to access a single tablet. And of course, that is the Abacava, Lamivudine, and DTG. We think that probably this will improve adherence to treatment, especially among children and adolescents. We know that pill burden is also an issue.
The chairperson of NAPO FANO, Dr. Stephen Waititi, says that HIV/AIDS is no longer a death sentence and it's everybody's responsibility to join hands against HIV/AIDS.
But if indeed you start medicine, then you'll be healthy and you will be able to live out your dreams. That was actually one of the reasons that made me decide to be open about my HIV status. Because I've been following medicine ARV since 1999. Wasn't doing so well actually until 2004 when I got access to free ARVs. Then started doing very well. And since then, now 20 years later, I can see at 71 almost, I'm doing very well. Now,
HIV self-testing is a way to reach more people with undiagnosed HIV, bringing services closer to where the people live and create demand for HIV testing. Zahara Abigaba, UBC News.
Now, the Parliamentary Committee on Health wants the non-tax revenue ceiling for government hospitals to be adjusted in order to improve service delivery. In the ministerial policy statement and budget estimates for financial year 2024-2025, the committee notes that most government hospitals have proved to be collecting more money in the private wing, yet the respective hospitals have remained in a bad state.
Parliament Friday continued to deliberate on the respective sectorial committee reports on the ministerial policy statements and budget estimates for the financial year 2024-2025.
Underfunded and unfunded priorities.
The Parliamentary Committee on Health presented its report highlighting the need for about 2.7 trillion shillings for the health subsector. The figure excludes KCCA and local governments. The health subsector is part of the Human Capital Development Program in the program-based budgeting being implemented by government.
The committee recommends that 8.1 billion and non-wage recurrent of 6 billion be provided to enable the complete transfer of Entebbe Hospital to a regional referral hospital. Right, Honourable Speaker and Honourable Members, remember that Entebbe was a district hospital for Wakiso. It's now a regional referral hospital. So we need that money to enable it operate fully.
The report highlights the partial performance of the current financial year budget, including purchasing of 116 new ambulances for 100 constituencies and 10 regional referral hospitals, building of regional blood banks at Hoima, Aro and Soroti, which were completed and to be functional in the next financial year.
The committee recommends that the Ministry of Health should be provided with 12.8 billion shillings for the financial year 2024-25 to enable it to establish in a phased manner the national ambulance system.
In the budget projections for the next financial year, government wants to resurrect the National Health Insurance Scheme, which bill has since flopped several times. According to the report, the bill has been revised and resubmitted to Cabinet. But the MPs recommend that government considers a levy on third-party motor vehicle insurance and earmark it for the health sector. The MPs recommend that the ceiling of the non-tax revenue collection from private wings in government hospitals be revised. They cite examples that some hospitals like Butabika, among others, collect more money through the private wing, but the hospitals have remained dilapidated.
The moment Parliament passes a budget and the vote limits have been indicated, when they run short of operational funds, yet they have NTR, then they can write to Parliament and make a request to retain. That's the effect. It was the basis for the motion we moved for local governments to retain revenue here, moved by the Honourable Narima, and Parliament actually carried that motion to allow them to retain their monies because of the laggard nature of financial operations from the Ministry of Finance. So it's up to them to get out from their slumber and be proactive and implement Section 293, right, Honourable Speaker.
The MPs reacted on the budget for the health subsector.
It's quite alarming. We have no oxygen plant, we do not have a surgical complex, a lot is happening in Mbale, and it's sad that we are seeing over 200 billion in the same financial being sent to Lubowa Hospital. And when you compare with the 79 billion required to complete all the regional referral hospitals, it's quite sad, right, Honourable Band.
That some of the early centers that were also budgeted for are missing in the list that was already approved by districts. So we need clarification from the minister where did they deleted some of the early centers, including one in my constituency that was allocated 714 million shillings. It's not in the list.
In this current financial year 2023-2024, the health sector has so far received a budget release of 993.099 billion for the approved budget of 1.794 trillion, representing 55%. The sector has so far spent 318.44 billion.
So it is not about a party, it is not about what, but let's work as government and make sure that everybody gets health facilities, every district, every region. And what you said about Bukedi, Echidachonka, Bukedi needs a regional referral hospital.
Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gutabinji, UBC News.
And in the area of e-mobility partnerships, Kira Motors Corporation, in collaboration with the Presidential CEO Forum PCF, has hosted members of the Presidential CEO Forum's e-mobility technical working group for an information visit to Kira Motors bus production operation at Luwero Industrial Park.
Towards achieving President of Uganda's directives on e-mobility and building a sustainable and scalable electric vehicle ecosystem. This partnership aims to facilitate collaboration and coordination among stakeholders to advance the development and adoption of electric vehicles and infrastructure.
There's reality. We are manufacturing these cars, the buses that we've seen on the road, the Kayola, and even the big ones that we are proud of as Ugandan. And this is a vision that really was spearheaded by the head of state. And for that, we really want to thank him for his visionary leadership, but also emphasizing in ensuring that there is budget allocation to this facility.
Government, through the Kira Motors Corporation, is proud to take the lead in holistically supporting all value chains of the nascent subsector.
Also, the models we are working on right now, we are working on 6 models of buses, and I think you'll see a couple of them here being worked on, and all of these are new products. So we are also in that product development phase where we continue even as you produce your refiner. Acquiring a platform is not enough.
Irene Birungi Mujisha, Presidential CEO Forum's CEO, says that the sector will see some tax exemptions to help boost initial takeoff.
The government has been in position to amend the Income Tax Act, and where we've seen that there will be exemption on e-mobility, the electronic manufacturers of electronic cars, mentioning the batteries and also charging points. So that is something that is going to attract and rejuvenate this industry to grow further.
This working group consists of both public and private sector players already championing solutions in the transport sector of Uganda, including but not limited to Simba motorbikes, Gogo Electric, Kasaiba, and RideLink, among others.
There are different areas that require even collaboration with government, where the areas we have been active in is industrialization. So we are in talks with Yuri about, different things we can do here.
Chira Motors Corporation is currently producing both diesel and electric buses on a commercial level for both public and private corporations, heavily utilizing local raw materials and outsourcing native human resource as much as possible.
For example, we're told the bus has 70,000 parts. Each part you're looking at over 100 people plus making them. In us as RideLink, we already have a team of almost 25 people across different disciplines. Now all these are just being promoted. So you're looking at jobs promotion, you're looking at technology exchange, you're looking at foreign currency coming in because people are going to start buying more of our services.
All members of the e-mobility working group through the Presidential CEO Forum are expected to join in on establishing robust policy recommendations, networking and partnerships in order to foster a solid foundation on which the sector should take off. Wadulo Makanold for UBC News.
Now, the head of outreach program at Embrace Culture, Stephen Kabenge, has condemned the ongoing struggle against the stereotypes that limit the potential of individuals with the Down syndrome. Stephen Kabenge says that the common misconceptions that often revolve around doubts about their academic abilities or their potential to contribute meaningfully to society.
The head of outreach program at Embrace Culture, Stephen Kabenge, has called for recognition and respect for unique talents and abilities within the Down syndrome community. Celebrating the World Down Syndrome Day in Entebbe, Kabenge explored initiatives aimed at fostering a more inclusive society.
People always think they don't go through periods, they don't function sexually, they are not normal and they can't live a productive life. That is not true. People with Down syndrome can live a very productive life if we give them the time, attention, and all the tools that they need to live a more productive life.
Mildred Katusabe, founder of Rwanda's Down Syndrome Awareness Center in Hoima, echoed the importance of early intervention and parental advocacy.
What I have seen as a parent raising a child with Down syndrome, children benefit from the support of their parents more than any other support, more than support they can get from doctors. Because as a parent, you spend most of the time with your child. But when you go to health clinics, say for example for speech therapy, they will give you a session of 30 minutes or 1 hour. And it's very costly.
Namboze Rose Nwagaba of Angels Center for Children with Special Needs stressed the importance of raising awareness, advocating for inclusive policies, and ensuring access to quality health care, education, and employment opportunities for individuals with Down syndrome.
Statistics are talking about 350,000 people with Down syndrome. So our message goes out to our government that during the census, such categories of disabilities should be identified in a specific manner to enable the planning, to enable the access of services and, to make them live a better life.
It was stressed that churches and community spaces must add physical adaptations and accessible facilities to full inclusion of individuals with disabilities, including Down syndrome.
So we have seen many cases, parents of children with disabilities with Down syndrome complaining about the messages sometimes the churches give, that these children are demon possessed, and so they need to be prayed for to cast away the demons. But would like to bring to the church a bit of more clearer information that in most cases this is also a medical condition.
The day was celebrated under the theme End the Stereotypes, aimed at increasing public awareness of the difficulties that individuals with Down syndrome encounter. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
Now, when 8 extra municipalities were listed to benefit from the additional funding phase of the Uganda support to municipal infrastructural development, Mubende did not miss out. It became part of the cluster of 5, which also included Masaka City and Entebbe municipality, some of the 14 original municipalities that benefited from the first phase of USMID. Let's hear more from Henry Okrut.
Somewhere in central Uganda sits Mubende Municipal Council, one of the local government administrative units making up West Buganda sub-region. Seen here are pedestrians comfortably going about their business. They are trekking on walkways recently installed on the roads in the municipality. These are part of a World Bank funded project, Uganda Support to Municipal Infrastructure Development, USMID.
Most of the roads in town have been sealed using these resources, not only being sealed, but we have also accommodated and created other arrangements which create a very good town order. We have the walkways such that the people who are walking are not competing with the vehicles on the carriageway.
From just one upgraded street of less than a kilometer to about 8.5 kilometers of roads, restoration of order in the municipality is on course.
We have created the solar lights. These enable people to move freely with a lot of security at night. But these ones have also improved on what we call night economy. Our people have started working at night. We encourage youth and disadvantaged to bring their items at night to sell along those solar poles, such that in the morning they wind up whatever they are doing and go back home. So many people are very pleased with this, and it is changing their lives.
This positive highlight is not a claim, but an affirmation of reality. Reality that people residing and operating in the municipality positively attest to.
tuli kaweweevu twakyayima zigatutawanya lebi mutambuza bulungi nnyo abantu badde bayita emmere n'owulya nti emmoroka efloat nzeyo emmoroka eri stack because of ebinnyako ng'ebintu ebituuka mu budde kalina zimeruse amayumba ag'ebbeeyi gameruse mu Mubende ebizimbe ebyakabimu ebiri olabe enkulaakulana eze.
This is not all. The progress on the construction of a new market is promising. It stands at 64% and the lot is expected upon completion.
People are waiting for the opening of this market because we demolished the old one which was too small, and as we speak now this one is going to accommodate a lot of people because the previous one had only 65 people selling raw food. This time we are going to have 165. That means there is an increment. It had 64 lockups. This one has 280 lockups.
The developments have not only been confined in Mubende municipal area. Masaka City initially benefited from the first phase of USMID while still a municipality. Upon successful implementation of the projects, it was considered for additional funding under the same cluster. On ground is evidence of progress.
Apart from the roads, it has gone ahead to put lights. All walkways have lighting systems. So in addition to that, we are saying even the landlords should light the buildings. And once that is done, it will be standard.
The rehabilitation of 0.166 kilometer on Kochi Street, 0.862 kilometer on Elgin Street, Kampala Road, Nyendo Market, 0.823 kilometer on Sachula Road, and 0.310 kilometer on Nyendo Market Loop have been successful. This has seen Masaka resurrect from the unofficial and unfair status of a ghost city.
Those who were here 10 or 5 years ago are amazed by the transformation, the infrastructural development in this city is amazing. The road network today in Masaka City, you would wish that part of Masaka City is in the capital city of Uganda.
This kind of success has not left Entebbe municipality the same. The international gateway to and from Uganda has seen interconnecting roads worked on.
The longest road has been Kampala Road, and we have also Church Road. Those are the long roads that we have done, and the Ginger Road. Those are quite long roads that we have done. But like I said, they have interconnecting roads and about other smaller roads connecting to them, because the principle in USMID has been connectivity. You cannot construct a road which is floating. It has to be connecting to another road.
Being one of the busiest towns in Uganda, having such developments put in place is worth the effort from USMID.
The development of the taxi park was in 2 phases. So phase 1 did ground floor and first floor, but we decided as council to add another floor for future business space.
When you look at the roads, we have Ginger Road, one of the most recent roads, which has been under this project of USMID. It's appreciated by the community. It has lights, and it is also one of the what I could say the modern and also meeting the standards of our municipality in Division B, but also other divisions have also been able, and villages, to get those roads.
The USMID additional funding phase being implemented by the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development ends in June 2024. Government is in the process of seeking another phase of funding, which, if successful, will run from 2025 to 2030. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Fred!
Osmosis.
Freddy! Fred Dollar, my boss, CEO Inojo, the general of generals, the conqueror of conquerors, the first and the final, the sky above the skies, the promised land, the terms and the conditions, the international king crocodile, the source of the Nile.
I don't have money today.
Just take a polite loan of 200k to stock on my shop. The signs and symptoms of success. The bank commander, not the bank teller.
Why hassle for a loan when you've got MTN Momo? We're sorting it. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable.
The government of Uganda and the Uganda Bureau of Statistics is calling upon all stakeholders such as the chief administrative officers, city mayors, resident city commissioners, city clerks, city and division councillors, wards and LC chairpersons, as well as the residents and business communities to cooperate with the UBOS field teams as we embark on advanced preparations to conduct the National Population and Housing Census on the 10th of May 2024. The census will be a 10-day exercise to obtain statistical data and information that will be used for planning and policy formulation, including information on 1. How many we are, 2. Where we are, 3. How we are living, 4. What we own, and 5. Where we access services from. The Uganda Bureau of Statistics has now started listing of households and mapping in the 11 cities of Arua, Fort Portal, Gulu, Hoima, Jinja, Lira, Mbale, Masaka, Mbarara, Soroti, and in the Greater Kampala comprising of Kampala, Wakiso, and Mukono districts. For more information, please call 0755 342 128 or 0773 342 128. This message is brought to you by the Executive Director and Census Commissioner, Uganda Bureau of Statistics. Census 2024. It matters to be counted.
Nyati Motion Pictures brings you Tuko Pamoja Luo segment. Learn about the famous legend of Jipiri and Labongo and how the Alur, Acholi, Jonam and Japadola Jaluo emerged.
The Luo are basically Nilotic. We are believed to have come from Baragazelle in the Sudan. When this colonialism came,
Which saved the life of men actually. Fought fiercely.
Which was imprisoned here on that hill, Kololo.
Which remained the greatest hero in Acholi.
Premiering on Saturday the 20th of April 2024, 3 to 8 p.m. at Ndere Center. To get a ticket, call 0778 787 660. Tuko Pamoja?
Welcome back from that short break as we enter into the world of business. Mandela Group of Companies has registered a major milestone following the ISO 22,000 certification of its Mandela Millers, the makers of Supreme Flowers. Let's hear more in this report.
After 5 years in production, Mandela Millers, which is an affiliate of Mandela Group, has received its ISO 22000 certification.
ISO 22000 is a food safety management system. I don't want to bore you with heavy details, just to assure you. This standard basically means that Mandela Millers has taken control of every stage of their process.
Uganda National Bureau of Standards Bagaine Jalo speaks fondly of this achievement that not only favors Mandela Group, but the nation.
Mandela's product can move without any problem because they don't only have the Q mark, they have food safety management systems. So within the East African region, not a problem. Because of this, they can go international because this is an internationally recognized standard. And UNBS's certification is accredited internationally. So they can't question what we have given them. These people can now go beyond the ESC without any problem.
With this latest achievement, the company plans bigger and better with a venture into animal feeds, the next destination.
We are anticipating and sooner to be in animal feed production. That is where I want to go. As we feel there is a vacuum out there, we need to have quality food going out to the fish industry, to the animals generally, because those who are involved in the dairy farming want to have quality.
Mandela Group of Companies is a conglomerate that deals mainly in gas, eateries, and milling.
And into sports, the Pioneer Union of European Football Association, UEFA Under-16 Women Friendship Football Tournament has already started in Turkey.
Uganda has lost 7-0 to Paraguay in the opening game of the inaugural Union of European Football Association's UEFA Under-16 friendly tournament in Turkey.
We tried our level best. The girls gave in what they could, but I must say even the weather, I think the girls are not used to this coldness. You could see it from the word go. They were freezing, and maybe the physicality of the opponents.
The game played at the Turkish Football Federation office in Riva was won by Paraguay, but Uganda also enjoyed moments that make good reading.
Today we had to work on the mistakes which resulted into losing that game, because if somebody here has 7, maybe you may think that we never played, but we played. We also missed the chances, but so we needed to improve the way we were conceding and the way we were missing goals.
Uganda is in Group B that also has Wales and plays China next. The 8-team tournament is complete by Turkey, United States of America, Vietnam and Botswana in Group A.
Now, Uganda's sports sector has grown by leaps and bounds since the 1980s when John Akibua won an Olympic medal for the country. Now, however, the growth of the sports industry still has a lot to do to nurture new talent and adopt good training policies, among others. UBC TV talked to Donald Dukare, a seasoned sports administrator and currently the president of Uganda Olympic Committee, to learn a few things about sports administration.
More famous for his works in sports, Dr. Don Dukare says there is more to him than the titles.
One of 5 children of Professor and Mrs. Dukare. We grew up in Makerere, went to then Norman Godino Primary School, went to Ntare School, the only school, but due to the war, only school, due to the war I had to leave. That's the 1986 war. Joined college school to redo S4. We then came back for A-levels and went to law school, a bit of swimming there for the university. Joined the LDC, then started working as a lawyer. Left there, went to the LDC to start the clinical legal education program. And then in between there, of course, went to study a bit. Then I joined sports. But all this time, Grace, I was involved in sports.
Dukare says he got into sports as early as 4 years old, but only took it serious at 6 years, representing Uganda in several competitions then.
But competitively, I started at the age of around 6, swimming at university, in the university pool road, university swimming pool. And then as I grew up now into the late 70s, early 80s, I was swimming. I still have a number of national records at that pool. And into the 90s, I kind of retired from active swimming in the 90s. I think that's the first time I lost a race to Louis Kikonyoga. I remember that race very well. In swimming, coming from the Chikabada, meaning no training. I was going on past glory, and I almost For the sports people who are watching this, they understand. When you Amagurutega Kola, things were not moving, yeah? Because I could hardly move. I did 2 races and a relay. The relay was what broke the camel's back, and I'll never forget that. My heart was racing. It wasn't being so about the loss. In sports, you learn how to lose. You lose and you come back. But I'm talking about the physical part of it, Grace, where your heart is racing until midnight. You have not recovered. The adrenaline, you can't walk because the adrenaline in your legs is still there. It's not drained out. So it took me about 12 hours to recover. Then I decided to accept that time has come to retire, but I then retired into masters. So now I swim masters.
So how did he join sports administration?
Actually, I joined sports administration by accident. I was not really planning to do this, but we had tried with Madame Maggie Chigozi to get involved, but then we couldn't. But then that one Saturday morning, they called me, Jangu, come to Nugogo, there's a meeting. I found that a kind of general assembly, and then I was elected without even having stood for the position. But we stood, and that's how we started being in this journey of sports administration. So I did swimming from 2004. Then around 2011, I joined the Olympic Committee with Rogers Dungo. At that point, President Rogers Dungo, the UOC, as an executive member. Then in 2012-13, I joined as Secretary General, I was elected, and now President of UOC. But also along the way, did some courses in sports administration, a master's in sports management and one in sports law. Became an arbitrator. Now I teach governance and sports law at Madrid. So it has been an interesting journey as a sports administrator, but it has evolved.
He sheds light on some of the achievements he's had thus far.
We turned around swimming, not I, we, as a team. We turned around swimming. We had almost 2 clubs. Now we have over 50 clubs and schools, more than that. We have an active calendar. We have coaches who are well trained. We have officials who are on the World Aquatics list, over 6. We have a lady going for the first time to Doha, Ronita, we congratulate her. So we even have ITOs who can participate. Of course, you see in sports, you have national level, regional, international. So if you transcend these 3 levels, then you know that, yes. So in terms of swimming, we've been able to populate at all those levels. At the UOC, we have now stabilized the UOC. It used to be a bit, you know where we have come from. We have a good working relationship with our members. We are on track with our strategic plan. We had the best Olympics ever in Tokyo. 5 medals, 25 big team, 25 for the first time. But overall, I think when I look back, things have moved.
Even with the achievements, this seasoned administrator says we still have a long way to go.
That we need to work hard in sports, which I do every day. When I wake up every morning, is we need to put system. People say Ruzungu. They always accuse me, Ruzungu. Yeah. It's not, but you see, English is what makes things move. Call it English, may I call it systems, processes. We need to put systems in place. Team selection policy, the way you do things, the way you run meetings, the way you write reports. All these things help the organizations to grow. If you're to move from one stage to another, amateur to profession, you need these systems in place. Now, issues of facilities is a big thing in sport, and that's one thing we're advocating for, having facilities all over the country so everybody can get a chance, but also giving sports the visibility.
His advice to sports administrators:
we know we hold the dreams of these athletes in our hands as administrators. When I was a young athlete, my dreams were shattered because we never went anywhere. But it's really about saying, when we wake up, are we making sure that the dreams of these young athletes that we hold as we as administrators are not shattered? So I always tell my team, whether I was at swimming or at the Olympics or the Commonwealth, is that we should never ever do any decision we take should never disadvantage the athlete. I really believe in that. Should never disadvantage. If you've been an athlete and you've been on the field of play, you cannot make a decision that is going to disadvantage the athlete. We should aspire for higher. I always tell my team, don't compare yourself to the least common denominator. Compare yourself to the highest.
Rukare's recent top administration role, among others, is the vice presidency for the Commonwealth Games Federation, to which he was elected in late 2023. The ardent sportsman also represented Uganda in the Masters swimming competition last month in Nairobi, Kenya. Grace Joyce Kemigisa, UBC News.
That's it from us. Thank you so much for being with us right from 8 o'clock. My name is Patricia Lukoma Mpango. A very, very wonderful night to you, but UBC programming continues. Good night.
I did, but I thought it was just a talk. No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving. Joko, I thought I was one of your friends. You are, but you left me behind. I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief, and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government, designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better.
PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Nyati Motion Pictures brings you Tuko Pamoja, a documentary film about our unity as Ugandans and Africans.
Bunyoro would have simply created an East African community that we are looking for today.
The rulers of Bunyoro are actually Luos.
We people who live across the Nile, we are so related from our myth or from just the Nile.
We are the same people, and genetically we are even the same people.
We are similar people.
We are one.
Pamoja, we are one.
Use that word, Pamoja.
Premiering every week from 3rd February to June 2024 at the National Theatre and Indere Center. Daily screenings are from 4th February to June 2024 at Ham Cinemax and the National Theatre. To get a ticket, call 0778 787 660. Tuko Pamoja?
Teens Crowd, an amazing off-the-hook youth program, brings you an array of fun, exciting, and educative segments you do not want to miss. From red carpet moments to proms, youth empowerment programs to youth gig vibes, and so much more, Teens Crowd will get you hooked. Only on UBC TV every Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Don't miss.
This weekend on UBC.
Our major task, and as instructed and directed by His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda and Commander-in-Chief of UPDF, was to ensure that the land is secured from encroachers. People will no longer be standing, and these seats are off the back, so somebody will really sit comfortably up to the end of the match. President of the Republic of Uganda and the Commander-in-Chief of the UPDF early on had planned and put army in a state ready to take on any work in Uganda. Approximately we have taken so far 17 months here, 17. Now on record, I want this noted to fellow Ugandans that world over, even if you moved around, you find that the full renovation of a stadium takes minimum of three years. But for us on record, we are going to take less than 2.5 years to deliver this structure. We have 15 construction regiments. They are co-located with the divisions. Water system has been tested, it's functioning well. Electricity